At my mother's barbecue, she pulled a plate of fries away from my 4-year-old son and said, "Those are only for my real grandchild." Several relatives laughed. By midnight, she had called me 11 times. She wasn't sorry. She was afraid I would finally tell them what she had been hiding for 8 months. My younger sister, Chelsea, had always been the one Mom displayed. Her son Carter had 6 photographs on Mom's refrigerator. Danny had none. Whenever I noticed, Mom said Carter simply liked having his picture taken. Danny was 4. He had already started asking why Grandma never put up his drawings. The favoritism was not limited to photographs. Mom attended every Carter's preschool events but missed Danny's birthday because Chelsea needed help shopping for Carter's party. I kept making excuses because I wanted my son to have grandparents, even imperfect ones. I was not displayed, but I was useful. 8 months earlier, Dad had suffered a stroke. He could walk with assistance, but he needed rides to therapy, medication organized twice a day, and a homemade 4 afternoons a week. Chelsea said hospitals made her anxious. Mom said she was too overwhelmed to manage the bills. I owned a small hair salon and started taking extra Saturday appointments to cover the aid. Mom asked me not to discuss the arrangement with relatives because she did not want people counting family money. I agreed for Dad's sake. Then she began thanking Chelsea in front of everyone for being such a wonderful daughter during his recovery. At Dad's first family dinner after rehabilitation, Mom praised Chelsea for coordinating everything while I stood behind her holding his appointment folder. Chelsea smiled and said, "We all do what we can." I stayed quiet because correcting them seemed less important than keeping Dad safe. The barbecue was supposed to celebrate his first afternoon home. Mom wanted the entire family there for photographs. Carter sat beside her in a new baseball jersey, with his artwork displayed near the drinks. Danny stayed close to me until he saw a plate of fries on the picnic table. He reached for one. Mom lifted the plate above his hand. "Those are only for my real grandchild." Several relatives laughed before realizing she was serious. Danny kept his hand in the air and looked at me. "Am I not real?" he asked. I did not argue with her. I wiped his fingers with a napkin, took his hand, and told him we were going somewhere better. We walked 3 blocks to a diner. The waitress brought him his own basket of fries and called him sir. By the time we left, he was smiling again. Mom's first voicemails accused me of ruining Dad's celebration and embarrassing her over a joke. The later messages sounded different. Dad's pill organizer was almost empty. The aid agency needed the next payment by Monday. Mom expected me at the house first thing in the morning. There was no apology to Danny. I called the agency instead. I paid through the end of the month so Dad's care would not stop, and I arranged for the aide to prepare his medication until another family member learned the routine. Then I emailed Mom and Chelsea. I copied my Aunt Ruth because she handled Dad's insurance paperwork. "Dad is covered through September 30, I wrote. "After that, billing and scheduling will need a new contact." I attached the agency's year-to-date statement. It showed 8 payments from my account totaling $14,400. Aunt Ruth called within 10 minutes. She had believed Chelsea was paying for the aid and taking Dad to therapy because that was what Mom told everyone. Chelsea called next. She admitted she had never seen a bill, filled a pill organizer, or spoken to the agency. Mom did not call to apologize. She called because I had humiliated her by exposing private finances. "I didn't expose Dad's medical information," I said. "I stopped hiding who was doing the work." She said family did not keep score. I reminded her that she had created 2 categories at the barbecue: real family, who received the food and praise, and useful family, who received the bills. When September ended, I stopped paying. I still visited Dad separately and drove him to 1 appointment each month, but I was no longer the default caregiver. Mom and Chelsea divided the remaining appointments. They reduced the aid's hours to what they could afford and learned to fill the pill organizer themselves. Dad remained safe. Nobody lost a home, a job, or medical care. Mom lost the ability to treat my son as an outsider while using my money and labor in private. Chelsea lost the praise without the responsibility. A few relatives apologized for laughing. Others stayed quiet. I did not ask anyone to choose a side. We stopped attending gatherings at Mom's house. She sent invitations but never acknowledged what she had said to Danny, so I stopped answering them. A month later, Danny and I returned to the diner. The same waitress set down a basket of fries between us. Danny reached toward it, then stopped. "Are these for me?" I pushed the basket closer. Every single one. He took a fry without looking around to see whether anyone would pull the plate away.